Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire Grimes. It's time for my top 10 movies of 2019. This is Paul's trip to the movies. My number 10 movie of 2019 is Honey Boy. I knew very little about Honey Boy going in, but I came out with a new, deeper appreciation for Shia LaBeouf. He wrote the script, which explores the relationship that he had with his abusive father while playing him at the same time. Noah Jupe was also stunning as the young Shia, while Lucas Hedges plays him as an adult entering rehab. It may be a heavy story, but it's gently told thanks to director Alma Harrell. Number 9 is Little Women. Greta Gerwig's delightful adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's beloved novel comes with an exceptional cast with Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh, Timothée Chalamet, and Laura Dern, just to name a few of this really great ensemble. Little Women allows us to escape into our own memories from our childhood, whether it's falling in love with a neighbor, playing dress-up with our siblings, or even when we first read Little Women for the first time. The film is easily accessible to a new generation to fall in love with these characters. My number 8 movie of the year is Marriage Story. Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson give two of the finest performances of the year as Charlie and Nicole, a couple who once loved each other but are now going through a divorce. Writer-director Noah Baumbach's deeply personal film feels raw and painful, and yet you feel for them as the characters fight for what's best for their son. My number 7 movie of the year is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino's latest opus felt like a mature, grown-up Quentin. The violence and the profanity was kept at a minimal given his past films, but the film is 100% Tarantino. It's his typical revisionist history approach with a really great ensemble with Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Al Pacino, Bruce Dern, and more. And now, it's a film that I enjoyed upon first viewing, kind of filing it under middle-of-the-road Quentin, but then I couldn't stop thinking about it. The production design, the groovy soundtrack, and its ode to that era of Hollywood was perfection. Now, it's not uncommon for me to have a superhero film on my top 10, and Avengers Endgame is my number 6 movie of the year. It accomplished a really nearly impossible task. It wrapped up a 22-film saga infusing all of these Marvel characters together in a thrilling, emotional ride. There wasn't a wasted moment in this 3-hour massive conclusion. Number 5 movie of the year is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Tom Hanks has played many heroes in the latter part of his career, but none felt as urgent or as deeply resonant as Fred Rogers. Now, this may not be the Mr. Rogers biopic that everyone expected, but it showcases the impact that he had on people. Hanks reached through the screen, and I felt like he was directly talking to me with his words of kindness, forgiveness, and respect. It's a beautiful performance from one of the great actors of our time. Matthew Rhys and Susan Kelechi Watson should also be mentioned, as they're just as vital to the film's impact. My number 4 movie of 2019 is 1917. Sam Mendes' new World War I film is a sweeping accomplishment. He, along with cinematographer Roger Deakins, shot the film, making it appear to be one long take. It's a completely immersive and stressful experience, as I felt like I was the third soldier on this mission with George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman. Films like this are meant to be seen in a theater, so don't miss out on this one, as it can't be translated in the same way if you watch it at home. My number 3 movie of the year is Waves. Trey Edward Schultz wrote and directed this brilliant film that no one saw. Waves is a lesson on how we deal with tragedy and how we turn around from that. The script feels authentic and natural for how teenagers and their parents communicate. It goes to some pretty shocking places that I wasn't quite prepared for. The result is that your emotional core just sinks inside of you. I'm quite shocked that this has been shut out in all of the award season nominations that have come out so far. My number 2 movie of the year is The Irishman. Only Martin Scorsese could have made this kind of movie. The Grandmaster's film works as a reflection on the life of Frank the Irishman Sheeran, but also as a reflection on his own career. With Frank in the nursing home telling his story that spans decades, I couldn't help but think of that in parallel to Scorsese's decades in the industry, working with these actors time and time again, and the relationships that are built within that are then put on screen. Now, a 3.5-hour movie usually drags, yet I never felt that way with this film when you have a director and brilliant actors like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Anna Paquin, and Harvey Keitel making every moment count. Now, my number one movie of 2019 is Us. Now, director Jordan Peele may have won an Oscar for writing Get Out, but his follow-up film, Us, is a horror masterpiece. There's something really scary about a home invasion involving your doppelganger, but as the story unfolds over 3 acts, you begin to realize how deeply layered this is. It becomes a clear reflection on our deep inner selves, how we become our own worst enemy, and how that manifests the world that we're living in today. There are a variety of metaphors and imagery used, but Jordan Peele doesn't give us all the answers in the end. And I really love that about it. Lupita Nyong'o gives an unparalleled performance as playing both Adelaide, the strong mother of the family, and Red, her evil doppelganger. The haunting score by Michael Abels makes it all the more haunting and terrifying. So there you go, that is my top 10 movies of the year. Number 10, Honey Boy. Number 9, Little Women. Number 8, Marriage Story. Number 7, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Number 6, Avengers Endgame. Number 5, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Number 4, 1917. Number 3, Waves. Number 2, The Irishman. And number 1, Us. I'm going to give some honorable mentions to a couple movies as well. Jojo Rabbit, The Two Popes, Dr. Sleep, and Knives Out. It really has been a stellar year at the movies. Thank you so much for watching my top 10 movies of 2019. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Paul's Movie Trip. I'd love to hear what's resonated with you. What are some of your favorite movies of 2019? Hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Paul's Movie Trip. Don't forget to click subscribe on my YouTube channel. I've got other movie reviews and some interviews with the cast of 1917 and Jojo Rabbit. And go to my website, paulstriptothemovies.com, for even more. Thank you so much for watching my top 10 movies. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.